Murder-suicide investigation. ABC-7 learns the name of the police officer shot Monday. We're also learning more about the woman found dead in Far East El Paso and the suspect in both cases. And a workplace accident at a Lower Valley wastewater plant leaves firefighters trying to pull two contractors out of a pool of water.
Well, we are tracking a few storms out to our east, but are we expecting any more rain in the forecast? We'll take a look at the latest FutureTrack computer model, talk about rain chances for the rest of your work week and your weekend. That's all coming up in Stormtrack Weather.
And why city officials say they're surprised by the actions taken by the owners of a condemned property in central El Paso. ABC-7 at 9 starts now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 9 on the El Paso Las Cruces CW.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on air and online at KVIA.com. I'm Stephanie Valle. El Paso police identified the victims and suspect in a murder-suicide. We first told you about this Monday night. A police officer shot in an ambush near North Loop and Yarborough. Tuesday morning, a woman found dead under suspicious circumstances in a Far East El Paso home. And later that day, the suspect in both cases found dead in an apparent suicide on the 9400 block of Alameda. Today, police identified the officer shot as Mike Garcia, a 2-year veteran of the force. Police say Garcia was shot several times by a drive-by shooter while he was pulling someone over. Tonight, Garcia is recovering at Del Sol Medical Center. Police say they believe the drive-by shooter was 30-year-old Frank Aparicio. Investigators say that after shooting that officer, Aparicio then went to the 12,000 block of Sal Rasua in Far East El Paso, and that's where he allegedly murdered 61-year-old Cecilia Diaz. Witnesses tell ABC-7 the home where Diaz was found dead is actually where her boyfriend lived with Aparicio, his roommate. Police have not confirmed that information. Aparicio was found dead from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound behind a store on Alameda. And today we went to Diaz's apartment at 9615 Sims, which is across from the Isleta School District headquarters. District spokeswoman Patricia Ayala tells ABC-7 Diaz was a teacher's aide at Isleta Pre-K from January 2001 to September 2013. Neighbors tell us Diaz was a good person and still can't understand why she was killed.
I can't believe it. I mean, the nicest person, you know what I mean? Whoever thought that would happen to her.
Investigators are trying to put the pieces together, but a police spokesman says they may never learn the truth because Aparicio is dead. A workplace accident in El Paso's Lower Valley leads to an emergency rescue. Unfortunately, 2 contractors are dead tonight. Fire dispatch tells ABC-7 they got stuck in a pool of water at the Bustamante wastewater treatment plant. It's in the Lower Valley just east of the Zaragoza port of entry. Firefighters pulled both bodies out of the water earlier today. Officials say the federal and state agencies that oversee workplace and environmental safety have been notified. And now to Stormtrack Weather. Storm Tracker Nicole Gomez is standing by live with your first forecast. Hi, Nicole.
Hey there, Stephanie. It was a pretty nice afternoon, and we're still seeing those very nice conditions out there right now. Let's take a look at our Stormtrack Weather Doppler radar. We're not tracking very much activity tonight. Well, far to our east, just clipping Culberson County, is where most of the storms are taking place. But as you can see here in El Paso and Las Cruces, we're beginning to see clear skies and comfortable temperatures. Just outside of the studio, we're at 68 degrees. We hit a high today of 79. We started out with comfortable temperatures at 62 degrees. Mattress Firm off by count, current temperature 69. Also had mild temperatures. A little cooler across the borderland right now. We're in the 60s at the airport in El Paso. 59 Guadalupe Pass. As you can see, our winds are calm tonight. A little stronger at Guadalupe Pass, where they have been up around 17 miles per hour through the evening. But for the most part, we are expecting a pretty nice forecast, and we'll talk about what you can expect for the rest of your work week and your weekend coming up in Stormtrack Weather.
Okay, Nicole, thank you. Managing emergencies. Socorro ISD employees, along with city and state emergency response officials, are getting special training. They're in Maryland right now, learning from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. ABC-7's Maria Garcia tells us all about it.
In Ottawa, that gunman striking fear at Parliament. Situations like that is why Socorro ISD officials say it's important to have a plan.
So we're looking at our emergency operations plan, and we're looking at ways that we could make it better.
12 SISD administrators are in Emmitsburg, Maryland. FEMA is reviewing their scenarios for emergency situations and finding ways to improve them.
We always think of active shooter. We practice a lockdown drill. If the shooter is inside of the campus, if there's a fire, if there's a flood.
And with Ebola on people's minds, they're also looking at situations where an infectious disease is identified on a campus.
How would we set up the perimeter? How would we set up the reunification? How many resources would we need? Where would we pull them from?
The city and county's emergency management coordinator also there, as is the emergency manager from the state.
But I think this just gives us an opportunity to be with the experts here and really look at scenarios and look and see if we have that plan.
And that was Maria Garcia reporting. FEMA's actually reimbursing the district for travel, and the training is provided for free. The city condemned a complex of rundown apartments due to a host of code violations, including lead contamination. As we first told you about last May, the Trowbridge apartments were deemed unsafe and ultimately condemned by city inspectors. More than a year later, though, the complex has been reopened after being renovated and cleared by the city. Last year, the city said children living in the complex were shown to have increasing levels of lead in their systems. Numerous electrical, plumbing, and mechanical issues were also found.
From our perspective, it is safe. They have been issued a certificate of occupancy, and it's fine to reside in those apartments at this point.
The city says it's not something it sees every day. The owners decided to fix the issues instead of demolishing the building. It looks like El Pasoans are taking advantage of early voting. The numbers are in and turnout is up across the city. ABC-7 looks into a possible reason behind the increase in voter participation.
El Paso has, or needs, or wants, I would say, an area where they can have festivals in a grassy area.
How the county plans to turn the old Western Playland property by Escalante Park into a green space capable of producing revenue. And it's Stormtrack Weather. Nicole.
Looks like we are in the clear of any rain in the forecast tonight, but we'll take a look at the latest Future Track computer model. Talk about rain chances for the rest of your work week. That's coming up in weather.
This is ABC-7 at 9, where news comes first.
You're watching ABC-7 at 9 on the El Paso Las Cruces CW with Stephanie Valle and Stormtrack Weather with Nicole Gomez.